Well then, here we are, the final league racing video of 2021, and today we're here for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the finale of WOR. And to be fair, we don't have a load to fight for. First of all though, if you haven't seen the last race, one of my best races on this game, then go check it out. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix will be linked up in the top right. Now, this is it for this year. 2021 will end with this race, and we've got more league racing content coming your way in 2022. So if you like the sound of that, leave a like and get subscribed for that content when it does eventually drop. Now then, Q1 is underway here at Interlagos. I'd like to go for one more lap if I could. We are currently on a set of mediums, and I'm going to go for a double run or a double lap on these and see if I can set a decent banker as I arrived at this race relatively, actually that's a lie, I didn't practice one bit because I'd been recording all day. So yeah, I was using Q1 pretty much as my practice. So I'd done a few laps on the intermediates, I'd done a double run on the mediums, and then I was pretty much counting on nailing my soft run at the end to get me through. Now, we did have a league race here about a week and a half ago in PSGL, so that is still relatively fresh in terms of my muscle memory. So I was also relying on that to kind of pull me through. So yeah, we're going to skip on to the final lap then. Soft tyres on, a minute and a half to go. Let's see if we can get through. Currently P18. Let's go for a lap. Down to turn 1, brake at about 30 metres. Down to third gear, short shift to fourth, and then fifth. Try to carry the speed through turns 2 and 3. Not a bad first sector in fairness. Keep it tight through turn 3. Run down to turn 4. You want to try and spot the braking at the 50-metre board. So far so good, but that lap car on the left there, or the blue flag car, just distracted me. Not good. Got distracted there by the car on the inside. So it just made me lose my reference a little bit. So turn 5 wasn't that great either. 6 and 7 and 8, this double right followed up by the hairpin. Pretty decent, a little bit safe though, running a bit wide there so I don't quite get the apex. This left-hander absolutely fine, traction also okay. Into the second hairpin though, a bit of a lock-up on entry, I didn't quite get the apex again, and the exit especially was quite poor. I've lost about an easy 10th there at least as we make our way into the final corner to end the lap here. Pretty safe again. Currently about 7/10, so you can hear me say terrible as we open the DRS, and it's not going to be a great lap. We're going to set a 1 minute 6.7, but it's not going to be enough. P18 for us at the time, and unfortunately P19 by the end of the session. The entire grid covered by 7/10. If you exclude Felipe Sousa, the top 19 covered by 4/10, or 5/10 in this case. Overall, bit of a shame. I gambled, I went for just one lap on softs, and it backfired because I made a few mistakes, and the big one, you know, being that exit out of the hairpin, but also just distracted a little bit at turn 4 by the traffic as well, and then a few missed apexes here and there. So I definitely think I could have easily got into Q2, to be honest with you. But you know, my personal best is a low 5, and I could have probably got to like a high 5 if I'd nailed the lap. But unfortunately, it just wasn't there. I made a few mistakes, and that's what you get when you don't practice. Anyway, though, for the race, we have some mixed up weather conditions. So let's see what's in store. Now here we are then for the race, and you can see we're currently going through the strategy. Keep an eye on the weather forecast. We have rain about 3/4 or a bit more than that towards the end of the race, but it's only for one icon, so that rain doesn't seem to be that heavy. It's not going to last here that long, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to just quickly go through my setup and my strategy. We're going to go on the mediums and try to basically carry the mediums all the way up until the rain. So let's jump into the race then, shall we? As the 5 lights are on for the final time in 2021, and we are underway. Pretty average start, nothing gained, nothing lost. Into turn 1 though, we're going to try and find a bit of space, as it's always pretty tight and pretty tricky for Interlagos to find some space in the first couple of corners. Luckily, we do a good job of keeping it clean. Through turn 3 we go, as we get a warning for a collision with Felipe. Making our way down towards turn 4. We're going to try and jink to the inside and see if we can find something, but nothing really to be gained. But then on the exit, we find a bit of space, as there's a bit of contact between Pedreño and Desaluski here, but we don't quite get the momentum to pull alongside. Again, I have a little look there, but no way through. Into the hairpin now, though. We're going to try again under braking. Desaluski leaves the door wide open, so we're going to try and drive through it. Right on the outside of the left-hander here. Can we hang it all the way around? Yes, we can. Inside for the right-hander. Not quite able to make the move, though, as we have to brake early to avoid running into the back of Ruben Pedreño. As a consequence, though, we can't quite make the move. I thought about it into the final corner again, but didn't quite happen. And for now, at the end of the first lap, we are still P19. So nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say in English. And yeah, we're going to just keep ticking away. As I think that was Sakilek into the pit lane there. Very, very aggressive pit entry, and dare I say, against the rules. Nonetheless, lap 2 then. More battling. Laverty and Pedreño side by side as Laverty gets ahead.
I'd love it if I could not get a penalty this race. That would help me out quite a lot.
And that's the plan, really. Try to not get a penalty, because the last few races I've let myself down. So I want to try and clean that up a little bit if I can. On to lap 3 now, though. DRS is enabled, and we're going to start lap 4 shortly. And we're going to try and start to make a few moves, because I feel like I've got some pace underneath me in this race, unlike in PSG a couple of weeks ago. As there's contact into turn 1.
You can't move across that late. You know, Pedreño, they're moving across way too late.
And these two are still going at it side by side. Pedreño, Desaluski. The bad news is that we're dropping out of range of the DRS.
I'm not going to get involved
in the DRS train of the cars ahead. So this is not good for us, as this could really hurt our race. But these two are really scrapping quite heavily at this stage of the race.
We're going to drop out of DRS range, man. This is fucking terrible.
And this always happens, and that's a consequence of, you know, qualifying far back, is that you get caught up in these battles. We have a little look up the inside of Pedreño here, but he shuts the door on us, and we have to back off, and hopefully the DRS train can reform. But first bit of action, and I try to have a look and get involved, but, you know, there's certain things you see in certain drivers when you know you have to pick your battles, and that little defensive move from Pedreño to turn 1 was enough for me to kind of hesitate about committing to a 3 wide or, you know, going for a move, really. So we're going to be patient, play the long game. Pedreño is going to try to re-overtake Desaluski here anyway, so the battle's going to continue. And you can see they're going to guide it.
Antoine's got no battery left. Or he's used most of it this lap.
Now into turn 1, we're going to just, you know, fall in line, and hopefully these two can catch back up to the cars ahead, as the soft runners are starting to pull away and run some good pace. Jan Otmay qualified P14, he's up to P11 I think, and he's on the back of the soft runners trying to pull away. In the meantime, we have a look here at Desaluski around the outside of turn 4. Into the corner though, he loses the back end and we have to back out.
Had to completely go off the throttle there to not him. Shit. Antoine's out of battery, completely out, so I need to strike while the iron's hot.
And you saw there, we just had to back off as Desaluski lost the rear. We almost would have pushed him round into a spin, so I had to get off the throttle completely, but I lost all momentum at that point, so the overtake attempt was cancelled. Into now the left-hander, he loses the back end and probably overheating his rear tyres because he's been pushing quite heavily, so that's going to be an easy move up ahead. Also Liam Parnell in the Red Bull, of course, the F1 Esports Red Bull third driver, who's here for this race. He actually ran off the track doing a bit of a Kimi in 2012, and he's going to slot in behind Pedreño. So yeah, at this point you can see the mini-map, the train has completely broken up. There's a gap behind Jarno, and then there's a few other cars, and then there's another gap after that. So Pedreño's going to pass, or sorry, Liam's going to pass Pedreño here. We're going to follow through up the inside as Jeffrey Ritchie pits for the AlphaTauri, so we're going to move up to P15. And I know Liam's got decent pace. You know, he's been practicing with Freddie Rasmussen and Marcel Kiefer, so I trust him to be pretty decent. So we're just going to try and follow him for now and see if he can drag us along. I've got plenty of battery, unlike everybody else, so I've got that little ace up my sleeve. So yeah, on to lap 9 now, and we've caught up to Jack Laverty. Liam doing a great job of running strong pace and dragging us along here. So we're going to see if we can keep this going, basically. We're trying to save the tyres at the same time. We can't forget about the rain. Hopefully we'll get some weather forecast soon, as Jake Benham is the first of the big boys to pit on the soft tyres. So we're going to see more of those leaders pit soon as we go on to lap 11 now. You're going to see a few more. In the meantime, still on the back of Liam, who does a bit of weaving on the straight, possibly a sign. Not quite sure what it means though. Either way, currently we're chilling. P12 on lap 11 and gradually making progress. On to the next lap then. You can see Liam's extra close to Jack Laverty this time. And we are actually catching up to a few cars ahead. I think that's Yari Fitz and Floris Viers, or Wires, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his surname, but I think they're battling. As we have a look around the outside here, Parnell went for the move, then backed off and actually ended up defending from me.
I don't know what Liam was doing there, but...
And I don't know what that really was. I kind of wish Liam had committed to the move, but Yeah, a bit of a strange sequence there, nonetheless. Falling in line, we're catching up to these 2 cars ahead now, so we're making some good progress at this stage of the race.
Don't know why he didn't go for the pass there. Maybe he's trying to save battery that badly.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Now there is the update. Rain 15 minutes away, and it's about a 1 minute lap, so we're looking at about lap 27 if that's the case. As Jack Laverty out of VRS, you can see Liam going for the move. We're going to try and follow him through here by going around the outside inside for turn 2. I thought I cleared him, but I actually didn't, and I ran him off the road, which is unfortunate, and I do apologise.
That's my bad completely. I just understeered off. Thought I had him, to be fair.
And if you run it back, you'll see the red arrow. I really thought I'd cleared him, but apologies to Jack for that one. I apologise after the race as well. Nonetheless, we've caught up to Yari Fitz and Flores now, and Liam doing a good job of still dragging us along, and also Jack Laverty hanging on behind. So we've still got plenty of battery here and looking pretty decent in this race, as Flores is going to pit in the Ferrari, I believe.
Early stop from Flores.
He's also got a penalty as well, so that's a positive sign. Up to P4 now, as all the soft runners have pit, and if we can clear Liam and Yari, we're looking pretty decent, as Jarno's leading out front.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
Usually what happens after that message is that it arrives in 5.
So another rain message.
I don't think we're going to make it though.
And the rain apparently will arrive in 5 minutes time. Well, that's what I'm assuming, you know, but things might change. Either way, it's already lap 19, and I'm a bit concerned at this stage because it does feel like the rain's taking a bit longer to arrive.
I don't think we're going to make it.
And you can see there for the first time, doubt is creeping into my mind, saying I don't think we're going to make it. In the meantime, I'm trying to get past Yari. You can see my tyre wear, the front right and the rear right as well, but mainly the front right, the most worn tyre.
3% per lap.
And 3% per lap is what we're looking at. So you can do the math. You know, with the weather forecast and the tyre wear, it's looking very, very tight, even a bit unlikely. Yari's going to pit. I think he knows he's sticking to the strategy. We're going to stay out for a bit longer here with Liam. Now you can see behind us, the leaders are catching. Donoso, Jake Benham, they are the top 2 on track right now. And they're going to catch us on this next lap or so. So I don't want to be the first one to get engulfed by the faster cars. So we're going to pass Liam Parnell and take P2 behind Jarno Otmir. Jarno's got a 6-second gap over us. That's the difference of being in the DRS train and not the whole race. But at this stage, we're looking pretty decent. We've pretty much cleared all the medium runners, and we're like net P2 on the medium runners behind Jarno at this stage. And now we've got the faster cars arriving behind. Still no sign though of the rain in this race.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Now again, you can see the tyre wear. Rain 5 minutes away. Here comes Fabrizio Donoso as the leaders are going to start making their moves now. Not much we can do about it. I'm going to try to do this in the most efficient way possible, reducing time loss. But tyre wear on the front right, we're into the mid-60s now, and it is getting overcast, but still no rainfall. So the rain, if it's going to come down, it has to be very fast. Here comes Jake Benham. We're going to close our DRS to let him get past easily, so I don't want to waste time battling with anybody at this stage of this race.
Looks like rain is inbound, and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Now for this strategy to work, the message I would have needed to hear at that point would have been something on the lines of rain is inbound any minute, so you know, keep look out for your tyres or watch out for the weather change. But it's still 5 minutes away, which is a bit of a concern. So yeah, another lap goes by, and you can see the tyres are getting on. Puncture territory is 75%. So the minute you hit 75, you're at risk of a puncture. And the last time I gambled on, you know, going long with tyres, I punctured instantly at 75% a couple of races ago. So we're taking that risk. You can see right now we're at 74 on the right front, lap 26 of this race. We've got Joost Noordijk and Jordan Poland behind, and we're not going to fight again. We're going to let them go by.
It's not going to work out, guys.
And you can hear me say, I don't think it's going to work out because it's raining, but very lightly at the minute.
Wow, instant puncture.
And there we go, game over. So we get an instant puncture. We have a bit of contact there with the Kinchi.
Instant puncture. Fucking hell. Might be a safety car, late safety car. That rain could be interesting. So we'll keep chipping away.
So yeah, unfortunately it hasn't worked out. It completely backfired. And we took a risk and it didn't pay off, but still, it is.
Yeah, bit of a shame. Took a chance.
It is what it is. We started P19. I had to roll the dice. And to be fair, it wasn't going too badly, but the rain is actually going to arrive later than forecast.
Complete. Go now.
Let's just push on and see what happens, man.
So yeah, back on the way on the soft tyres, and let's just send it.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Oh, now it's just starting to rain. Great timing.
And now the rain's starting to pick up a little bit, literally as soon as we got the soft tyres. So yeah, unfortunate. The rain arrived later than forecast on the monitor because it's still fully dry. Lap 29, we've caught up to Stakilek, who pit very early on in this race. We're going to pass him here quite comfortably without the use of much ERS, as we just get him with the DRS pass. Not quite enough for our fastest lap, but still a personal best. Obviously, the track conditions aren't ideal as the rain is starting to fall, but still up to P15 in this race. I'm just going to keep pushing, basically, see what we can do. We've got Jarno in the pit lane now on lap 32. He couldn't make it on his tyres, and the rain now starting to fall quite heavily.
10 minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes.
But even then, it's not raining enough, you know, for intermediates. Now, at this stage, we was about 3.5 seconds behind Jarno.
Oh, wow.
When he pit. So we did gain.
I took a risk, underfueled, you know, hoping it would be intermediates, but it didn't quite get there. Flores is off. Yari Fitz is off as well. But unfortunately, the last 4 laps or so, I was doing extreme fuel saving because the rain didn't arrive. That should be 2 places again. It is intermediates now, I think. The track's shining.
And yeah, it is intermediates. The very last lap, the track turned to inters, but by that point, it's too late. I couldn't push. I had to basically save fuel as I was very critical for the last 4 laps. I took a gamble on the fuel consumption. I gambled on rain, and it only arrived on the last lap of the race, which is unfortunate.
Let's just run out of fuel, man. Use all the momentum. But there we go, season done. We'll take that. That's okay, P12.
And yeah, there's your lot. A disappointing race. We finished in P12. Good recovery from P19, you could say. It was looking pretty decent at one point. Jarno finished in P8, so it just goes to show the strategy didn't work out. And, you know, when Jarno rejoined the track after his pit stop, he was only 3.5 seconds ahead of us. And by the end, because of the amount of fuel saving I had to do, you can see we finished over 15 or 16 seconds behind him. So, yeah, I do think, if you look at Liam Parnell, he pit a few laps before me, actually. And I think the right time to pit would have been if we just stuck to the original strategy and pit around lap 20, maybe even 21, just before the fast cars on the regular strategy started to arrive, you know, the No-So Benham. If we pit right then, instead of overtaking Liam Parnell, that would have been, I think, the perfect time and overall the better option, because I think we could have probably got a top 6 if you look at Josh's penalty possibly. So yeah, you know, Jules Nordijk in P5 as well definitely could have been an option, but you know, that's the gamble you take sometimes. Sometimes it goes through, sometimes it backfires. But the last 2 times I've gambled on tyre wear, I've got an instant punch for 75%, so that's unfortunate. Whereas Jarno, for example, was able to take his tyres into the mid-80s, I think. So it just goes to show it's the luck of the draw, and it is what it is. And Jarno didn't even puncture. So yeah, that's it for me, guys, in this season. You can see the standings on screen right now. We finish in P6, which isn't bad. A win in Canada and the podium last time out in Jeddah being the 2 main results, which gave us a big chunk of points. We also got a P4 in Hungary as well. So some decent results here and there, enough to score some decent points. And yeah, overall, I've got to say, a decent season considering we started in F2 and then got moved up to F1 after like 4 races. So yeah, hopefully next year there's a bit more consistency in both PSG and WR. We can do a bit better and do some better results. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe for more daily F1 content and also league racing content when the new seasons get back up and running in about a month's time. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them. But that is it from me here today, guys, and I'll see all of you in the next one.